where I work at UCH now, we get the patients sent to us, so they've already been diagnosed. So the patients who come into my part of the service are sort of are heading towards surgery, or surgery may be an option for them. And so, with all new diagnoses, there's a certain time period as we have to do their operation within a certain amount of time. So there's not a lot of time to get them fit for surgery, but there's good evidence that just walking 5 kilometres a day at a brisk pace in 2 or 3 weeks, that can do a great benefit for them. And also cutting down on the wrong type of food, so cutting out chips, bread, beer, lose a bit of weight, that all does great benefits for them. So before surgery, we do a program called the Surgical School. So we tell them all about the operation, and we tell them about how they look after themselves afterwards. And in that, we mention about getting fit, taking exercise regularly. So that, I think, has an impact on the patients. But I think my general impression is patients have a big disconnect between their fitness and their weight, and whether that will affect the outcome from their surgery. So I think patients have to take a bit more personal responsibility for that than they currently do. The patients have got to up their game to help us treat themselves. So I think that's the way forward.
Are there some sports that are better for CV and health, or are there other sports that are better for impact and bone, or do you like to combine?
Yes, well, I think if you look at all sports, they've all got their benefits and they've all got their downsides. So, I mean, I suppose a very good sport for fitness and has less impact on your joints is something like swimming.
Yes.
Cycling, I think, is very good for your fitness, but as we've learnt this morning, it can have impacts on your bone. So they more like to get osteoporosis. And running, say in the gym or going out for runs, again, that's a good fitness, but then you've real problem with your joints later on. So everything's got a slight downside, and I suppose you should mix everything up a little bit, do a little bit of everything. But certainly, my sport is cycling, and I think that's a good sport. Not only from the fitness point of view, but of course social interaction, that's good as well. But I suppose at the end of the day, if you can do any sport, that's good. But cycling is sort of particularly good, and it does seem to be middle-aged men and above who you see out on the road. So there's got to be something good about it.
Yes.
But it's a nice social sport as well.
Yes, and economically, once you've bought your bike and you've got your kit, you don't have to pay a subscription or anything like that. You can just get on your bike.
Yeah, that's true. But I think all sports are expensive in some ways, aren't they? So
probably the better you get. Yeah.
Yeah. But so once you've got your bike, you don't have to spend a fortune. When you start off, just get a bike, and if you can, get a couple of friends and just go out. And even if you just go out and do 10 kilometres, it's better than doing nothing. And you can just build it up gradually. So you're not going to get on a bike and go out and do 100 miles on your first day, because you'll never do it again. So just build it up slowly. And so I think that's when I went back to cycling when I was about 40. That's what I did. I just went out on a Saturday and Sunday morning because I had to be back for the kids when they were getting up and get breakfast ready at the weekend. So that's a good place to start, and you can just build it up from there.
Yes. And having an expert like a British cycling coach that you can go to, as in Prostate Peddlers, that must be beneficial because they monitor your progress.
Yeah. Well, I think also if you get in with a group like Prostate Peddlers, you're gonna go into the group, and then that'll give you a chance to get better, watch other people, learn from them, and then you'll just get better and better. So I think that's a good thing to do. There's lots of cycling groups around the country, but of course Prostate Peddlers is unique, isn't it? Because it's patients who've had prostate cancer, so they've all got something in common. I think that's what makes the group unique, really.
Yes. And it's good to have goal setting as well, isn't it?
The unique thing about it is if you go out with as I do, a group of men on bicycles, I mean, none of them will ever talk about health issues or I mean, even though they know I'm a urologist, nobody ever mentions about PSA or things like that. So, but in Prostate Peddlers they do, because they've all got the same disease, and actually at that point you want to talk to people.
Yes.
You want to talk to people who've been through the same thing as you, because otherwise you've got no idea, you know, what lies ahead. And so I think that's a real strength of Prostate Peddlers, is you've got all those people who have been through the treatment, or people who might be going through the treatment, and so they can support each other. So I think that's unique to this cycling group.
Yes.